Welcome back. It is May the 25th. It is about 10 minutes to 7 at night here. And we had a small storm earlier, so we got a good rain in today. We got to plant a good drink. We're going to start out here in the corner. And these are some early fortune cucumbers that are shaded about half the day, so that's why they're nice and healthy so far. The heat doesn't beat on them. Some yellow sunflowers that are starting to come in. They're about 3 foot tall or so. My garlic I picked, and we got quite the crop of the garlic. Not as good as I'd like, but my wife was impatient. So it is what it is. I got some Black Jewel watermelon planted in here. I'm hoping to let it travel out through the area here. The loofah is starting to take off and do nice. I gotta get it up on a trellis so it can grow up. My onions are still growing strong that I planted from seed. Strawberries have filled in like crazy. They're gonna be needing to be split up and repicked into something bigger than that little pot I started with. The basil has poofed and poofed and poofed because I keep chopping it like you're supposed to. Aroma tomatoes are filling in nicely. We got all kinds of tomatoes in there on it. All kinds. They're looking great. I think I'm gonna start some more Roma tomato seeds, probably half a dozen, so I can get some more tomatoes in this season. These ones are not doing too bad. There's some down in there. You can kind of see them. Yeah, I don't know. There you go. There's quite a few on there. And watermelon and beans and bok choy that went to seed. Onions, green beans. I just picked a whole bunch of green beans out of the garden. There's some regular Carolina Cross watermelon that's gonna grow down this black plastic. We'll come over here. We got more early fortune cucumbers. These are in succession to the other ones because they will produce, and then these will produce. This is my Super Sweet 100 project. I've got it to wrap this pole all the way up, and it's just loaded with tomatoes after tomatoes after tomatoes, except one side shoot I missed, so I let it go up the porch, and it's got loaded with tomatoes. I'm kind of undetermined on this thing. I don't really know what to make of these. I ain't tried them yet, but it's loaded down with little tiny baby tomatoes all over the place. It's called a spoon tomato. And I didn't trim it much, so it's quite the mess, as you can see, versus the other one over there. Nothing on my Kajari melon yet, but it's starting to fill out like crazy. I got to kind of clean the area for it so it can sprawl out across the ground. A couple extra peppers I planted. I don't even know what they are, so I just planted them. These are all my peppers for this year. This is my first crop. The jalapenos, got some little baby jalapenos in there on it. A little Advarsky pepper. Costa Rican pepper is got a couple of little peppers on it. You can see one in there. If I can get up underneath this here leaf. Oh, there we go. And there it is. California Wonders and Purple Beauties are all Dawn and peppers. A banana pepper. It's looking kind of cute here. Carrots in a bag. Carrots in a bag work. I'm going to move it away from the other two idiots there because they're out of hand. More green onions. This is my boxcar Willie in a hay bale. It's got flowers on it. That's the positive thing. There's a lonely, scraggly looking brandywine, I think. My sweet corn is starting to come in. That is on deck hybrid sweet corn from Burpee, new seed that came out. So half of the bag germinated, half of it. Summer squash is just starting to take off. These plants are not They're kind of behind this year for some reason. There's a couple of super sweets or steak sandwich. I think one's a steak sandwich. And these are my pickling cucumbers. They're doing quite the thing to grow. There's zucchinis. Got quite the zucchini coming in there. The back side of these, this thing is just loaded with there with little pickling cucumbers. My seed project, my Haida tomato. Those are all shoots that I was letting root. Now we're wandering over here to the other ones. The shed is only about 50 foot away from my house, so I grow some things under the shed. My cucumbers didn't do so hot. You'll see them first. One bucket's already gone. One bucket is, I don't know if it came to the end or it got some, whatever they call that down there, but they are not, they're supposed to be early fortune cucumbers and they just didn't do so hot. I got a couple of them off there. Potatoes, potatoes do what potatoes do. They grow, they produce. Brandywines, we'll walk around to the front side of them because they're pretty crazy looking. I got some Marketmore cucumbers started in this little guy here. That'll be my next part of succession, planting cucumbers. These are just climbing right up. Like I said, they got some nice fruits coming in on them. And they're growing away. I saved some water for the potatoes. There's my first batch of potatoes. They're starting to die off, so I'll be able to pick them soon. Pretty soon I go to the feed pattern. I'll be feeding them every 2 weeks. Start feeding all the plants, and that helps them grow through the summer. There's our beans. I just picked a whole little basket of bushel beans, snap beans. My zucchini and squash up here, it's sandy. There's nothing in the soil. It kind of stinks. It's just sand, but I've built little boxes and stuff to help. These are my Cherokee Trail-a-Tier beans, and those are just snap beans. And these, this small box here is asparagus beans. This is more pickling cucumbers. Cabbage that didn't do hot. Onions are doing okay. All the cabbages, the bugs kind of beat them up, and the heat and irregularities. You can see some bugs going on in some of these. I'm going to rototill all of this 4 rows up. All of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to there. So this whole spot will be brassicas this fall. And then my kale bed is doing all right, what the bugs aren't eating. Kale is really easy to grow. Kennebec potatoes were planted in March 24th. And they're flowering and they're doing their thing, and hopefully they're producing under there. You don't know till you dig them up. Peanuts are growing away, I guess. I don't really know what else to do with them. Peas are doing okay. It's pretty late for peas. Radishes. Carrots. We're getting some carrot action. Carrots are better grown in the fall. Same with peas. Radishes will grow anytime. Sweet potatoes. I did half the row with a little bit of topsoil mix in the top, and I did the other half of the row with just plain sand. Stuck them in there, watered them, and let them go. And well, it's kind of wildly, the sand ones are doing better than the ones with actual dirt in them. My My corn here, children of the corn. Corn is almost, well, my short ass, it's over my waistline already. Did yellow for a little bit because we had so much rain. I fed it a bunch of nitrogen, got it back looking pretty. There's the other end of the sweet potatoes. I don't even know if they're growing. I mean, they look like they are. These ones are. And these are just weed beds. They'll be covered with plastic as soon as the watermelons start growing out. This is a Carolina Cross watermelon. And that one there is a Black Jewel watermelon. I got cantaloupe in the box. It'll grow out under the plastic there. I just have not plastic these two yet. Well, I shaved these 3, 4, because this one and that one. That is an acorn squash, and this is supposed to be a pumpkin. So we're growing, making leadway. I still haven't gotten around to building a trellis of some sort. I haven't made up my mind on what I want to build, but as you can see, put the weeds out of there. The moonflowers are starting to looking for something to trellis up on. They look cool. Definitely cool. They're gonna need something soon. I have brandywines in the garden. What's cool is that tree shades all these tomatoes and peppers and the moonflowers. And the beans and all this stuff is kind of shaded over here. Yeah, over on that side it's all in the sun. That may be something I take into consideration when I replant. I got a single steak sandwich in a hay bale here. It's living. Bunch of wild sunflowers all from last year, a couple years ago. I got pumpkins out there. You can see them in their little hills. They're growing away. There's one, there's one. Another one over there. Spoon tomatoes, these things are a mess. I probably won't plant them the same, but this one is the same as the one up by the house. They're just loaded down with tomatoes. It's pretty crazy. This is a lonely steak sandwich. My peppers out here are doing okay. I mean, they were almost dead and they're living. So this is all experimenting with sand and just a very little bit of topsoil added in besides the boxes that nothing would grow at all. And you can see the difference, what the topsoil makes in these. It adds a huge difference. Moonflowers. We'll end with the sunflowers. The chocolate cherry sunflowers are starting to come in. That one's very pretty. They're all starting to bloom up. Time to plant some more. Must be feeding time. The cows are coming. Have a good night.